That was Ain't You Even Gonna Cry by Charlie Louvin, and I'd like to welcome the Country Music Hall of Fame member himself. Right back to the program. Charlie, can you hear me all right?
I hear you fine, Paul.
How are you?
I'm fine. Have you got snow on the ground up there?
Oh, no, not yet.
Well, I hear them talking about it.
Yeah, soon.
Won't be long now.
No. I'd like to thank you so much for appearing here back on my radio show. You were the, I don't know if you remember this, but you were the first guest I ever interviewed here on my radio show.
Well, I'm hoping it'll turn into something that's good for you, Paul, that you might even make a little money on, you know. You never know what you're going to turn into money on down yonder somewhere. So if you do this good, well, you'll get a chance to do other things, and I wish you the most and the best.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm up to about, I think somewhere like 22 or 23 artists I've interviewed so far on the show, and planning to get a lot more, and thank you again for coming back.
Well, you're quite welcome. I appreciate the invite.
Oh, well, you're welcome also. And I guess maybe if we start back in the beginning, this is probably further back than we started the last time you were on. You grew up in the Sand Mountain region of Alabama, and you were introduced to music at a very early age, correct, Charlie?
Well, yes, I've liked it as long as I've lived, I guess. So I think that's what they call it. You was introduced to something when you find something that you really like to listen to. Then you've been introduced to the best.
Now, your father played banjo and fiddle, correct?
No, he didn't play the fiddle. He played
Not
the
fiddle?
banjo.
Just the banjo, and of course your mother sang.
Yeah.
And you were exposed...
Nobody in the family ever picked up the fiddle. I played the mandolin, stuff like that. I played the guitar, but nobody ever tried the fiddle. I guess that's a mean instrument to learn.
Yeah. And you were exposed to hymns and religious songs in church, grew up singing. That was probably what you were singing the most of back in those days.
Well, we did a lot of that. But when we got a chance, if we heard somebody's going to have a cakewalk or ice cream supper, first thing we'd say, well, who is furnishing the entertainment? And if they said, well, we ain't got that yet, well, we'd volunteer right then. Because we were told that regardless how far in life you go, you'll always learn something every time you perform. And anything you learn, you will need farther on in your life. So we believe that. We worked an awful lot of free stuff, but if doing is learning, then we should have learned well.
And if you had to name a few artists that were early influences to you, who would they be?
Well, I would definitely start with the Alton and Raymond Delmore, the Delmore Brothers.
Okay.
One of our most favorites. A little bit after that, the Blue Sky Boys was pleasant to listen to. And the Monroe Brothers was there, and the
Roy Acuff.
Oh, Roy Acuff, he's early. In fact, I just got my hand copy is not completed, but I got a copy of the the Murder album that's coming out December 9. We included the Wreck on the Highway, the Roy Acuff Wreck on the Highway.
Okay, and
there's never been a more morbid song recorded in the history of music than that was. It makes it so plain. And
when whiskey and blood run together, I didn't hear nobody pray.
When whiskey and blood mixed with glass where they lay. He didn't hear the groans of the dying, and consequently he didn't hear nobody pray. It's an extremely forward song.
Sure.
We got a good recording of it, so I'll be getting that up to you before you know it.
Yeah, we're anxiously awaiting it. We'll talk about your new albums in depth in a few minutes, but you probably listened to Roy Acuff just about every Saturday night on the Opry back in those days, too.
Well, until we got into business. And when we managed to get into business, say in 1942 or something like that, we was out there trying to make a living on Saturday night. Sometimes we didn't get to hear the Opry. And but then that's the way it is. If you're working, you can't do a whole lot of listening to somebody on a radio station far away. So I think it's more important to work and get your experience than it is to listen, because hearing and seeing at the same time is a lot healthier for you than just hearing. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You hear your ears, but you believe your eyes.
And now, Charlie, how old were you when you first learned how to play the guitar?
Well, I don't think, Paul, that I really ever learned how to play the guitar. All I ever did with the guitar was what you call second. I would play the mandolin or whoever else was playing the lead instrument. Then I just second. I played, I guess you could call it rhythm, but in the old days they called it, well, I'll play the fiddle if I can find somebody to second me. So that's what I did.
Well, you were quite a rhythm guitar player, and
yeah.
you played on all of your early records, correct?
That's true, but I never had a desire to be a picker, per se. You know, this kid that I believe you got to meet Ben Hall once.
Yes, I did.
Ben Hall, when you met him, he was 17 years old. Picked as much guitar as anybody I've ever heard. In fact, that he's done so good that my record man, I believe, is going to record him.
He's a fabulous guitar player.
Yes, he is. At 18, and his mom insisted he finish his school. I told him, if you'll pay attention to that guitar, and when you get out of college, the world can't hold you.
Yeah. I miss hearing Bill Kelly play with you, too.
Yeah, Bill Kelly's a fine electric picker, no doubt about that. Bill's had a little bad health here and there, but he's trying to get back in the music business. I don't know if he's talked to you or not.
No, I haven't talked with him in quite a while now. It's been. Have to catch up with him.
Yeah, well, he's got an album out in the group. And I hear that they're doing quite well. Hope so.
Yeah, and well, I guess, do you remember your first public performance, Charlie?
Lord, yeah. First one we ever made any money at. I might not recall the first time I ever played, but the first one we ever made any money at was July the 4th, 1941. And
after moving from a few different radio stations through the early 40s, Chattanooga, Knoxville, and Memphis, I guess you came to stay in Memphis for 4 years and played on the radio there, and during this time you made your first commercial recordings for, wasn't it Apollo Records in 47?
We recorded one song. It was Smiling Eddie Hill's contract, but we worked for him, and we was pretty responsible for drawing a lot of the crowd that he has enjoyed. And so he let us record one song on the one side of a record, and he put an instrumental on the other side of the record, and the song was Alabama.
Okay. And now you, Charlie, on your own, and with Ira, you've written many songs. I think, you and Ira wrote about 500 songs in a 20-year period, something like that?
Yeah, I believe it was about 500.
Indeed.
524 the last count I had.
And that's quite an accomplishment, humongous number.
My brother was a talented writer. I think writers are born. You know, you might learn to get better, but you don't just outright learn to write. You're born with it, or you never enjoy it.
And your songwriting talents gained the attention of song publisher Fred Rose, of course, of Acuff Rose Publishing in Nashville. And how did Fred become aware of your music?
Well, we were working with Smiling Eddie Hill in Memphis, as I mentioned a minute ago. We didn't know no publishers, but Eddie Hill said, I do. You've always put a bunch of your stuff on a reel-to-reel, and I'll take it up there for you.